Hey guys, I'm Kyle Hayden, aka Kyle Cringe, aka The Forging Dork. As most of you probably know, tomorrow is Christmas, which makes today Christmas Eve, so I'm doing a last-ditch effort to make a Christmas present for someone, before time runs out. So what I have here are the materials to make a mini space heater that costs under $20 to make and runs on $4 per hour. You want to see how it works? Alright, well, first thing you're going to need is an 8-inch flower pot. I got this one at Lowe's. I think it was like $3 or something like that. I don't know, I didn't keep the receipt. Then you're going to need an 8-inch flower pot base. I got this at Home Depot because for some reason Lowe's had run out of 8-inch flower pot bases. Way to go, Lowe's. You're also going to need a 6-inch flower pot, which I'm going to set aside here. I already had that one, which is why it has so much dirt in it. I'm just trying to reuse things. You're going to need 11 washers. Could you hear that over that? 11 washers! Yeah. You're gonna need 14 hex bolts, and you're gonna need a foot of 1/2-inch threaded rod. It occurs to me now that I forgot to mention these hex nuts are also 1/2-inch, as are these washers. Alright. So, the first thing that you're going to want to do is pretty simple. You just want to put on 2 of the hex bolts. Now, these 2 hex bolts are going to be what keeps this rod from just falling out the hole in the pot. It's going to make sure that they stay nice and in place. Alright, so once you have those on, you can try to twist them opposite directions. That'll lock them really tightly in place. And you're going to just slip a washer on the other end. Next, what you're going to want to do is just go with your 8-inch flower pot. You might want to take off the tag first. Just stick it down in the hole. And it's not going to go all the way down, obviously, because it's going to hit the table first. But anyway, regardless. Then you're going to put on the capper nut. And that's just going to be a placeholder because we're going to go back to that in a little bit. The next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to turn it all the way over. Put on another washer and another 2 nuts. Fuck it, just time skip already. Alright, I got it down there. I had to time skip, but I got it down there. Now I'm going to put one more on so that it locks it in place. Remember how if you twist 2 hex nuts in opposite directions, they lock together rather tightly. It's also going to add on some necessary space between this pot and that pot. Alright, I got the second one on there. It's locked together really tight and there's no more wiggle room. So now you're going to drop on another washer and then your bottom pot. And that just goes all the way down to the bottom. Then once it's like that, one more washer and 2 more nuts, just like before. Alright, Second nut is down on there, and as you can see, there's about an inch of gap between each of these two pots. That's good. That's where the heat's going to radiate. It's going to intensify, and it's going to radiate outwards from there. Now, from that point forward, what you're going to do is you're going to add a washer, add a nut, add a washer, add a nut, and just keep going down like that until you have one washer and one nut left. Make sure that they get all the way to the bottom. So I'm down to my last washer and my last nut, like I said, and you're going to save these because these are going to be what's holding up this. Now, what you're going to want to do with this is stick it right on... Oh. Right. I almost forgot to mention that the pottery bottom is not going to come with a hole in it, so you're going to want to burrow through that yourself. Me personally, I'm going to make a tiny pilot hole with my drill, and then I'm going to slowly expand it with my Dremel tool so that I don't accidentally crack the shit out of it. Alright, so we got our whole board in there. It's kind of a tight fit, but it goes on. You kind of have to screw it on a little bit, but it does in fact go on. Alright, so once you got that on, all you need to do, slip on a washer and your last nut. And that's going to keep it nice and stable when it's hanging up. Like that. And this gap is going to let just enough air in for the tea light candles that you're going to place inside this chamber. Now in this chamber, the tea lights are going to be burning. You're going to screw this back up to its resting place. And once it's in its resting place, all the heat is going to have nowhere to go except into this metal rod, which is then going to radiate out into these pots. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, Kyle, you can't rest that anywhere. It's sitting like a fucking top, and it's gonna burn fucking anything you put it on. That's why we're not going to set it anywhere. We're gonna hang it, which is where this bolt comes in handy. I'm gonna use wires from this old pair of headphones that I found. I don't know if they still work. I don't really care. They're just they look very junked up. I don't even know where they came from, but they're what I'm gonna use if I can ever get them untangled. Alright, I managed to get the wire undone. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to loop it around, tie it off, loop it around a few more times, leave a pretty big gap, come back, tie it off again on the other end of the wire. And then the two ends that you used to tie it off, tie those together. I'm going to double knot it just to make sure that it's really good and tight. Alright, once you get that, so that it is a loop like this, take your final nut that you put on at the very beginning, which you took off to put that on, and screw it down nice and tight. Alright. Then you have a wire that can support the whole weight of the thing, which is actually really impressive. These things are really strong. Now I'm not guaranteeing that these are gonna hold. These are just what I'm using at the moment. If I had access to chain, I would have used chain. Just so you know, I would suggest you use chain if you're gonna go out and get materials for this anyway. I was trying to just use materials that I found around the house, you know. So yeah, I guess we're gonna see how that works and see if she likes it. I'm not going to be posting this until after Christmas actually, because the person I'm giving this to is subscribed to me and I don't want to spoil the surprise. So sorry about that. But hey, that gives me a chance to get footage of it in action, so let's go do that.
I have to be dead.